What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a part of the van build which is definitely not glamorous. It's not sexy and honestly it's a bit of a sticky nightmare. We are talking about insulation, the angle bits, specifically how to get all the Celotex and the bloody Kingspan in place so that not a single inch of bare metal is showing. Now why are we obsessing over every square inch? Well, it's simple. Condensation. If you leave bare metal exposed against the insulation, this is where the cold hits the warm air, and that is where you get water. You don't want that dripping on you inside your walls while you're trying to bloody sleep, do you? So today it's all about the no bare metal rule. We're going to be tackling the wheel arches. We're going to be tackling the weird non-square angles on the roof, the sliding door, and the absolute beast that is the back doors, with all their internal mechanisms. Plus, I've got some money saving tips on how to use every single scrap of offcut you've got lying around. So let's get into it. So let's start with the wheel arches. Obviously we're just finishing those off from the last episode. If you've worked with a van before, you know that this is where the geometry gets annoying. Nothing in these vans is bloody square. You can't just cut the perfect rectangle and hope for the best. Now I'm currently cutting boards to fit these arches. Now my trick here is don't try and get it perfect first time. Cut it slightly a bit bigger, check the fit and then shave it down a little bit. It's better to have a little bit more to shave off the board and leaving the board a little bit too small and leaving a little bit of a gap. And notice I'm not stressing about the cables right now. I've had a few of you ask where the wire's going to go. Now don't panic. Once I start putting my timber framing on the walls, I'm going to create a gap in between the insulation and the final wall panel. Now that's exactly where the electrics are going to go. It keeps the wires safe and makes a much cleaner build. Now once these boards are all wedged in place, I'm going to be hitting them with some expanding foam. This is the secret sauce. The foam fills those hairline gaps that the boards just can't reach. And it bloody acts as a thermal bridge, or rather it stops a thermal bridge. Now keeping that metal sealed off from the outside world. Now if you're doing this, just remember, wear some bloody gloves. Seriously, getting expanding foam on your hand is a rookie mistake, and I make that mistake more than once. So moving up to the angle bits of the roof. Now again, the angles here are brutal because the van curves inwards. It's a lot of cut, measure, test, repeat. So once I've finished that section, I moved over to the kitchen area. I had 3 big beefy pieces of Celotex here. Now look at the floor. See all of those offcuts. Don't you dare throw any of those away. I'm literally grabbing those scraps, plugging them into every gap and foaming around them. It's solid insulation, don't forget. It saves you money, and frankly, once the walls are all covered, nobody is ever going to know it's patchwork quilt behind there. It's just as effective as a giant sheet. Now if you're finding that the board's popping out a little bit, just use a bit of tape or a temporary brace to hold it in place while the foam cures. Now the foam will expand and lock it in place like glue. It honestly is the best way to ensure no air pockets are left behind. So before we crack on and do the back doors with all these little offcuts I've just talked about, and the back doors were a proper headache as well, by the way, I want to talk to you about something I've been working on in the background. So a lot of you have been messaging me asking for the exact measurements, the layout plans and the step-by-step for this Peugeot Boxer build. I've put everything I've learned from framing to the electrical runs, the insulation cuts into a Peugeot Boxer Blueprint. Now I've set up a dedicated page for this. If you go to the link in the description, you can sign up to be on the VIP list. As soon as the build's finished, I'll notify you that the blueprint is ready. Now I am planning to keep this a super low price, probably around 99p, just to cover the time it took to put all together. So if you want to fast track your own build and avoid the guesswork, go and get on the list now. The link will be in the description. Right, back to it. The back doors. Now this is the most fiddly part of the whole build. There are so many internal mechanisms, locks and weird hollow sections. Now here is my strategy. Take your time. You can see me cutting all these weird cuts, quirky angles. It looks rough now, right? I know, but just the process. Main goal here isn't aesthetics, is it? It's thermal efficiency. I want to maximise the cold surface area. I'm also going to be insulating the lower parts of the doors. Some people skip this, but I highly recommend doing it. It just adds a layer of sound deadening that you'll really appreciate when you're driving on the motorway or parked up in a windy spot. Pro tip here for you. If you've got cables running through these doors, be super careful with your knife. Don't be hacking away blindly. Cut the foam, tuck the cables behind, and use your offcuts to fill the void. And guys, I have got a massive reveal coming up later in this build. We are going to be carpeting those doors and the sliding door to hide all the insulation work. It's going to look showroom clean once it's done. So if you're enjoying the process, just make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the transformation. So we are on the final stretch now. Right hand side is done, and it is effectively the same process to maximise the insulation. Use the scrap pieces of insulation to save you a bit of money. Obvious, right? The very last bit of the job is the shove it in method, where the boards meet the metal frame and there's still a tiny gap. Just shove the nozzle of the foam can in there and bloody fill it. Another crucial tip for you here. While the foam is curing, you absolutely must open and close the doors. Keep doing it. Open them, close them, check the alignment. The last thing you're going to want is the foam to expand and set in a way that blocks the locking mechanism or makes the door stick. It's a fine balance. You want to seal the gaps, but you also want to keep the door mechanically functional. I'm also going to be going around the window frames as well. I noticed there was a few little holes where the thermal barrier would be broken. So I'm just hitting those with a final shot of foam inside the little holes by the windows, because that's just a massive cavity there. It looks a bit messy, but this could be the difference between a van that's freezing in October and one that stays cozy all year round. And just like that, that is this part of the insulation. It's done, it's sealed, it's quiet, and it's ready for the next stage. Now I'm curious, when you guys do your insulation, are you team Celotex or do you prefer something else? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you found any of these tips useful, or if you just think I'm doing it completely wrong, then drop a comment below. I'll read them all. And don't forget to check the description for that Peugeot Boxer Blueprint list. Give this video a like if it helped you out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.